Greetings, Bell of Lost Souls fan. Psyberwolfe here again, and today we're just going to do a quick short video on using Plasticard with our modeling. I've got a couple of ideas and things that I've been doing with Plasticard recently, and I just wanted to share it with you so that you could expand your hobby and expand what you're doing with your models. Before I get rolling on everything that we need to do with Plasticard, I just wanted to talk real quick about my basic Plasticard supplies. The first one that I use is this, which is the Sheet Styrene. It's the strip styrene, and this is one of the lengths I get. This one is let's see. This is the 0.188. You might be able to read it there. I can't tell if you'll be able to read that or not, but this stuff is really great. The reason I like to use it a whole lot is because what we can do is when I need certain pieces handled, I just go in, I put it in there, and I clip it to shape, and it's real quick. The next one I like to use, and this stuff I kind of have more than just the rod, but I like to use this square. It's a square rod styrene, and this is really good for when you need 90-degree angles. I use it for bracing a whole lot. What I'll do is I'll use the Plasticard and then put it in place, but so that it gets a nice 90-degree angle, I'll butt this up against the piece, and it gives a nice 90 degrees cutout. Let's put that back. The final piece that I like to use is the, of course, Evergreen Scale Models plain sheet styrene. This is the stuff I'll use for more general quick projects and little fill-in spots and other things. And I'm gonna get into what I use this particular bit for here in a second once I'll get the camera repositioned. Alright guys, first little project we can do with Plasticard is using it on for banners. It's a great quick use, especially in the thickness I used here, which I believe is the 0.1 inch or the 0.25 millimeter, and it makes a great banner. I'm not a big fan of the plastic banners, mainly the paper banners, because transporting them, they get ripped and it's a big mess. I'm going to use this because it's a bit larger to show what I did. I cut the banners out as normal. If you see, I'm going to use my laser pointer here. Right in here, I cut it as a single piece. I put the little strips that go up over the banner pole right here, and so that's where they are. Now, what I did is I put some used Model Master's liquid plastic cement, and I used that to glue. It's going to be better than your super glue, because the super glue sometimes gets on the tool and it makes a big huge fat mess and makes it difficult to pull it apart. You may or may not be able to see this, but right back in here, right there, and there is where I crimped it. And I'm gonna show you here with a piece of paper the kind of the large way of how it accomplishes a piece of scrap paper, but it'll do. What I ended up doing was I wrapped it around and I put some glue right in this area here, right on immediately on the other side, and then what I did is then I brought it around, and once I had the plastic glue in place, then I centered it like that. And then to make sure to grip it into place, I used a pair of these exact needle nose pliers, put it in place, and I just held it and went like that. Now, something that you have to know about Plasticard also is that before I did the final gluing, I actually had to take the Plasticard and wrap it around, kind of curl it around I curled it around the paintbrush. What it does, I just kind of rolled it down around the paintbrush, the handle of the paintbrush, and what that did is it got it into a roundish shape, so that when I was finally ready to glue, it just crimped into position. Now the only thing about this, and you may or may not be able to see this in the video, is that the glue, because of the way it is, sometimes it will cause some damage to the Plasticard. So I'm going to have to go back and do a little sanding, maybe a little green stuffing right there. The other thing that's really handy about this is that you can also use the Plasticard as the armature for a green stuff banner if you'd like, and then that way you can go in and sculpt all the details with the wrinkles and all that stuff. So that's Belial right now that I'm working on. And the other thing I did with it, just to kind of let you know, is using the paintbrush here. I went in and I took the end and I kind of worked with it and bent it like that. And you can do it with your bare fingers too, like that. Bent it up, and it gives it a little bit more life, makes it look like it's kind of floating in the wind. Too much and you're going to get too much and it's going to look a little out of control, but just a little bit of a bend and you've got some action going on there, and it looks really nice. Alright, the next piece I'm going to be pulling out here in just a second is going to be the Land Raider Ares that I'm working on. Alright, there she is in all of her glory as she is coming along quite nicely. I'm really happy about it. First off, this is a bog standard Land Raider kit. This is the old Land Raider kit. What I did is I didn't want to tear apart a Crusader to do this, so I used the assault cannons from the Dark Angel sprue. Just put them right into place, and later on I'll do a more of a piece on this entire conversion that I'm working on here. Okay, but for this particular piece, we're talking about doing the Plasticard. If you see right here, I've put some Plasticard in position there, and it's to clear up to kind of plug up some gaps that are in the body. Because I don't know if the camera's going to be able to show it real well, but right down in this area, right here, there was a gap. Okay, and so I plugged it up with a bit of Plasticard, and I used that sheet styrene I was telling you about. Now the other thing is if you look real carefully, right back here. Alright, I'm trying to get my laser pointer to work for me here. Right there, there are those pieces I was telling you about that helps make this a nice 90 degree piece, and gets it real nice and into position quickly. And all I did is I used that strip styrene for this. Now the other thing is that I'm hoping the camera can catch this, but down in here, once again, right up and down in here, there's some strip styrene I used because there was a gap right up in this area. And so what I did is I used a little strip styrene and covered up the gap so that when this thing's finally together, you won't be able to see the gap. I also use strip styrene. Now the strip styrene I have is a little wide, so I had to just used my sprue cutters. I mean, they're perfectly fine. And I went in and right in here I plugged, and this is kind of like, if you've assembled a Land Raider, then you know totally what this is about. But right across here, there's a gap between the body and this, and what I did is I went in and I plugged up the gap with the strip styrene, and just did that. What I'm going to do after I'm done is I'm going to go back and use a little bit of green stuff and smooth that all out there and there.